2019 is truly the year of the heavy-duty truck. Case in point, the all-new 2020 Chevy Silverado heavy duty. I'm here at the Flint assembly plant in Michigan, where this truck is going to be produced when it's going to go on sale later this year. And this video is all about specifications, numbers, and features on the new trucks. Stay tuned for this because there's an all-new gas V8 engine, the 6.6 liter. There's an updated diesel and a 10-speed automatic coming right now. Here's the only dually truck they have here, and this configuration with a diesel engine, a regular cab, and two-wheel drive, this is the one that tows 35,500 pounds. This truck you see right here is a custom. It's one step above the work truck in the new lineup for 2020. And I think this is my favorite truck, not just because it has a plow on the front of it, but because of the look, the monochromatic grille and the dark lower sections and the 20-inch rims. And it has the new 6.6 liter gas V8 onto the hood with a new 6-speed or updated new 6-speed automatic.
Well, what we've really tried to do is take all the lessons we've learned over years of experience with the 6-liter, yet bring that up into the level of technology that's featured on our Gen 5 suite of engines. So what you see here is got the same 4.4-inch bore spacing that's been standard on small blocks since the 50s. It has inner bore cooling, so it's Siamese bore, but it has a cooling jacket, little bores between them to allow coolant to flow to reject some of the heat that you may accumulate during heavy-duty use. So one of the things that we're most proud of is the introduction of direct injection into this heavy-duty segment. That is an industry first. So as you can see here, the fuel comes in from the low-pressure pump at 400 kPa, comes through to the high-pressure fuel pump, which is actuated off the camshaft here in the rear, and eventually is increased up to 15 megapascals before it comes out from there into the actual fuel rails, and then ejected directly into the cylinder with a very specifically engineered shape and geometry in the bore to make sure that we have the right mixing of fuel. What that enables us to do is with the atomization of the gasoline, it allows us to increase the compression ratio to 10.8 to 1, which allows us to meet industry-leading torque of 464 foot-pounds, all on regular fuel. One thing you can see, this is a hyper-eutectic piston for strength, forged powder metal rod. It is a forged steel crankshaft, stainless steel exhaust manifolds to handle the additional heat, variable valve actuation. It is a dual equal system, which means the intake and exhaust is actuated off one camshaft. It is still the push rod technology that we have on our Gen 5 applications, and that allows us to have a very compact engine.
This transmission case, bell housing, and back end is exactly the same as today's transmission. Internally, all of the clutches and backing plates are identical. We just added one of each of those. The gear sets are the exact same parts we're using today, and then the torque converter is a combination of parts that existed, and we were able to fit that in the existing package.
This truck right here is an LTZ, and Chevrolet is going to have 5 trim levels: work truck, custom, LT, LTZ, this one, and of course the high country premium truck. They all are going to have similar grille designs with Chevrolet spelled out, but different personalities: chrome, no chrome, blacked out. My favorites are the work truck and the custom. It's always great to see the chassis without the body because you can get down to the details. You can see the fully boxed frame. You can see the mounting points for the DEF tank, which is now on the driver's side, a little bit behind the cab. You can see how the transmission mates to the transfer case and the diesel engine in this case, and that gigantic 28-inch diameter cooling fan to improve the cooling capability on the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel V8. The diesel powered truck has a big opening here in the hood scoop to feed the air to the engine, but this gas powered one, this is filled in. So this is just a cosmetic piece. So is this the L5P that was in the previous generation truck, or what's changed?
This is the L5P that was on the previous, with some upgrade. Everything has been developed specifically to match with the new 10-speed transmission and to match with the new Silverado. We have a 19 plates oil cooler that
So
is
bigger
from
one?
the 14 to 19 plates, is a bigger one.
Okay.
The turbocharger pretty remained the same, but we improved the strategy how we are applying the torque on the turbocharger through our electric actuator, and we have been able to validate 14% capacity improvement.
As far as style is concerned, everybody's going to have their own opinion, but what I like is that this truck looks nothing like the half-ton Silverado. The only shared component is actually the roof panel. Every other component is unique and larger and scaled bigger. There are now 3 extra inches of legroom in the back of this heavy duty when you compare it to the previous one. Well, here's the business end, and the new heavy duty truck is rated at 35,500 pounds of max towing on the gooseneck, and it has a fully integrated gooseneck 5th wheel mounting point into the frame. But this is a single rear wheel that's also capable of 20,000 pound conventional towing rating. Is this similar to the light duty transmission, or is this a whole new deal?
It's all different. Basically, they're both 10 speeds, obviously, but
Yeah.
every part is different. I mean, the controls have some commonality, but all the torque bearing parts are unique.
Okay.
Everything's larger. If we had the other one sitting here, you'd really be able to see the grand scale of how much bigger this is. So since we were in collaboration with Allison on this, all the validation, analysis, engineering had to be upsized according to the specifications, working together with them.
So tell me more about the relationship between GM and Allison.
GM and Allison were one company up until 10, 11 years ago. They split apart into 2 companies, but a lot of the people still know each other, still work. So whenever we started on this project and going back into an Allison type market and replacing the current Allison transmission, went back to and working with them and have collaborated throughout. A lot of us knew each other from before. So we've been working throughout, going through all the analysis, all the engineering. They're testing these in their facilities, we're testing them in our facilities. So it's really been a collaborative effort throughout for the last couple of years. There's a torque converter with a lockup clutch on it. And one unique thing about this is for the 35,500 pound towing, one important thing is to not make so much heat. So in first gear, this can actually lock up the lock up the clutch and bypass the torque converter even in first gear and get all the power to the wheels without making so much heat. You come here and this is the chain-driven PTO. The PTO was the first time for an OEM having as a option.
So that's power takeoff unit.
Yep, power takeoff. So you'll be able to take off this cover and plug in your power takeoff unit, whatever unit you want to hook on here, and you'll be able to hook right in there. It has a solenoid and pressure sensor where you can flip a switch in the cabin, and now you're driving your PTO feature.
So that could be like a tow truck or something like that,
exactly,
right?
exactly. A dump bed or whatever you want to have on there.
Okay. Can you run it while the truck is moving?
Yes, you can. There's certain limits to the speeds and things like that, but yeah, it has a mobile mode where you can drive as well as use it. So if you're wanting to drive around using the dump or using whatever, you're allowed. It's enabled.
Do that. While Chevrolet went for maximum towing, best-in-class number of 35,500 pounds, they do not have best-in-class payload capability. The two-wheel drive dually gas truck is rated at 7,466 pounds, which is just a couple hundred pounds under where Ram and Ford currently are. Every 2020 Silverado is going to have this bedside step. It's capable of holding 500 pounds, and actually, you can actually put both of your boots in here and reach in. If you have a gooseneck trailer hooked up, you can actually jump in the bed this way. Because the trucks are getting taller, the new truck is longer, has a 5.2 inch longer wheelbase than before, but they kept the bed height the same when you compare it to the old truck for ease of hooking up trailers, and also make it a little bit easier to reach. I'm 6'2", so I can actually reach in here, but trucks, in any case, are getting tall. The interior on the new heavy-duty truck is very, very similar to the 2019 light-duty half-tons that are already on sale. And the driving position is really good. They raised the seat just a little bit, so you can always have good vision of the road ahead, although this hood is really tall. The controls are laid out in a very similar fashion as far as the air conditioning and HVAC controls, as well as the 8-inch screen up above. Check this out. You can equip your four-wheel drive 2020 Silverado with a 4-auto mode. It's an automatic transfer case that can switch between two-wheel drive and 4x4 automatically depending on road conditions, but you can still lock it out in four-wheel drive high, or of course you can shift it down in 4 low and really crawl off-road. Just as with the light-duty truck, you still have 3 tie downs in each corner. That makes for 12. And then there's also locations to place additional, up to 9 additional tie downs. A lot of you have said that this door-mounted towing mirror looks a little bit odd, but it has a lot of function. First of all, this part extends in and out. It can power fold and has additional lights, marker lights, and also spotter lights on the back. And it provides better visibility, where you could see from the driver position, slightly better visibility through the A-pillar. Here's one unique feature on the new Silverado HD. This is an engine block heater plug, which is integrated well into the bumper, so you no longer have to hang the cord out from underneath or through the grill. Really thoughtful. Pricing is not yet available, but these trucks should hit the dealerships in late summer of 2019, according to Chevy. This is an active factory where they build trucks currently, the current gen trucks, so they're trying to get us to move out. But behind me here is the new diesel with all the high-tech features, including all the cameras. This is a high country model. GM is also introducing the ASA electronics integration, where you can actually control some of the features of the trailer through your truck console app and application. I cannot wait to try those out, but we gotta go because they're reorganizing the factory so they can build more trucks. Go back to tfltruck.com for more news, views, and real-world truck reviews.